Okay, so here as discussed we'll be seeing about the actual Azure Virtual Machine creation. So this is the sandbox, learn sandbox. So in this, the Azure Virtual Machine creation will be through Azure Cloud Shell. That's the command line interface, and we'll be creating a Ubuntu image virtual machine. After we create the virtual machine, then we will be installing a web server to it. So these two exercises we'll be doing in this video. Then once we have completed this, then I will show you also how the same thing is done, or how the virtual machine is created when using the Azure Portal. So there the options, everything I will just go through after the first exercise. Okay, let us first. Okay, so here I need to verifying my account. So once verified, the sandbox will be activated. So let us wait for the sandbox to be completed. So while creating the Azure Virtual Machine, so Azure Machine, you can the detailed thing I will show you when showing the exercise under the by Azure Portal. So there you can see we will be able to choose every single detail, like disk and what kind of hard disk you need to use, or SSD or normal hard disk, and that disk is newly to be created one, or you want to attach an existing disk, you want to use the secondary hard disk. So you can very similar to how we will be customizing a laptop or desktop, you can also customize your virtual machine, which will look very nice for our operations. Like when we need a customized setup, we can customize as we need it. Okay, it's started already. So let us go to the exercise. So the commands are already here. Just I will explain you what these commands are. So Azure VM create is the command for VM creation in Azure Cloud Shell. So these are the details for that VM to be created with. So resource group, so we'll be using this default resource group created for the learn sandbox account. Then name, then public IP standard IP, then image will be Ubuntu 22.04 version. Admin username will be Azure user. Then we are getting SSH keys to be generated out and saved in the local PC. So we copy this and we paste. So here I will change my VM to Techify with Adel VM1. The name I have updated to this. The rest we just keep it as it is. Then just enter. Okay, so you can see here SSH key has been generated. Then it's saved to this location. So in case if this location is not the permanent storage, then it just advising us to save it in somewhere in the permanent storage so that it's not lost. So now the VM creation is under process. Usually VM creation just takes few minutes. Like you need just imagine like you need a desktop, so we have to purchase the hardware, then we have to assemble it. It's going to take like even few days for the equipments to come in, then start. So in cloud, just you choose the things, you select the options, like select the configurations you need and click create it. Just boom, in few minutes your PC, your VM will be up, which is very nice for our testing, all this kind of functions. Just you don't need to wait for something to come in, or you don't need to wait for someone to come do the configuration. Just anybody can just do it. You have a basic knowledge about what configuration you need, what are the settings or what are the applications you need. You just go to the Azure portal, you just can set up it very easy. So yeah, our VM is ready. So you can see here it's been created, the West US, that's a default location actually. MAC address, then the state is VM is running, so it's created correctly. Then we have a private IP, then we have a public IP, then the resource group is the one which we have assigned to. Okay, so we have created the VM. Next we will be configuring the web server. So just copy this and paste here. Just we need to update. If you are changing the VM name, just remember to update at every exercise. So here VM name will be Takify with other VM1. The rest all will be same. Yes. Yeah, till it gets created, let us see what is the command we have configured. So we are getting the extension, we are setting up an extension, we are installing, or we are setting up an extension to this belongs to this resource group. Under this resource group, to which VM we are doing it for, VM name is the one which we created earlier, then the name will be the custom script, then publisher, from which publisher is Microsoft Azure extensions, the version, then the setting. Okay, the setting of the setting of the extension we are installing, right? It will be following this file. This file is from GitHub user content.com Microsoft Docs MS Learn Well. So it belongs to here. So let us see what this is actually a bash file. So we will see what that bash file contains. Then next command is protected settings, command to execute. So yes, such. So this one is a bash file. This location contains a bash file. Let us see what this bash file is. Okay, here you can see. So once we are executing that script, it will run this bash file. So this bash file contains get the update. So it's going to get the latest update of the web, and it's going to, next step is it will be installing it. So after installing, then it will set up the home page with welcome to Azure, my name is, and it will be the host name, which it should be here in this case will be Takify with Azure, that's TWA-VM1. So we should see this when we are accessing to the server. It should show us, because it's going to be a web server, so it should show this web page has the home page. So let us see if the thing is ready. Yep, yeah, the thing is ready. So here we have completed the exercise of creating the VM and installing the web server. So now I will show you the same the similar how to do a setup in Azure cloud. Actually, to verify the web server and to troubleshoot, this thing will be shown in the next video. So let me go to our web portal. So I'm going to Azure Portal, login, portal.azure.com. Here with my ID. Actually, to do practicing like this, so you want to do some practice, you can create your own account for test account, then you can just do it. So this is a Microsoft Learn Sandbox account. So when you go to the virtual machine, you will see the VM is already up and running. See, this is the VM we just now created. So when you want to create in the Azure portal, we just go to create. Then you see the subscription, we just leave it as the learning subscription, and this is also learn group. Then virtual machine name, so take a with Adil VM2. Just we leave the region, then the rest all we just leave it as default. So this one, yeah, we will just go for Windows 11. Size, just we leave it as a default size. We can just we can see, change the sizes based on the size whatever is applicable. So we just leave it the default one. So here we need to choose a username. We just use the same username, Azure user. Then we need to choose a password. Then okay, matches, good. Then inbound port rules, so public inbound ports, just leave allow selected ports only. Then select inbound ports is 3389 only. RDP port is open for the public access. Then this one we need to, this one we can select because just this is our learn sandbox account, so it should be okay. Next, if you're going to use review and create here, then the rest all the settings will be just, it will choose the default settings. In case you want to have more customization, just you can do everything like one by one, all the portions you can customize, like network management, monitoring, tag, everything you can customize. So here they have a OS disk size of 127 GB. This is the default one. OS disk type is SSD, premium disk type. So here we got standard, then we have hard disk also. So it's just about us which we want to choose, but the charges will vary based on the customization we do. Then here you can have a create and attach a new disk. Like you have a secondary disk, then you can attach an existing disk. Just you have an already existing disk, you are recreating this new VM, or you want to move that disk from one VM to another VM, just you need to detach from the existing VM, then move it to the new VM. Then we go for networking. The networking, because when you create a VM, it needs a networking connection. If not, then it will not be able to connect to the, it will become a standalone, so it will not be able to have any connections. So either you can choose an existing virtual network, or the network will be created by default with the similar name of your VM. This one will be auto created. If you don't choose your VM, if you have any customization, then you can choose, or you can previously create a VM, then you can attach the you can already create a virtual network, then you can attach that virtual network to this VM. Then also the subnet under the virtual network, public IP. The next security group is just none, or you can go for basic and advanced security groups based on the subscriptions we have and based on necessity. Then load balancing option also, Azure load balancer. Then application gateway is all based on your architecture. Then we go for management portion. Generally will be like enable the system assigned management identity, like a system assigned like Azure key vault, like the things to be saved in the Azure key vault. We have discussed about this in the previous videos as well. You can just refer to that for have more detail on Azure key vault. Then log into Microsoft Enter ID, that is Azure Active Directory. It will have a role-based assignment for information. Then auto shutdowning, then disaster recovery is all you can enable it. Then enable hot patching, like guest OS patching. Then for monitoring, it will usually do the boot diagnostics or enable OS guest diagnostics. Then application health monitoring, so it will get for the application health monitoring, it will set up a scale set, then record for managing the infrastructure and OSs. Then for example in the OS guest diagnostic, right, you can see here it gets the metrics every minute for your virtual machine, then it will send alert. Based on that, you can set up your alert system. So it will give you the diagnostics for every minute. So it will gather the data for every minute, then it will send to the monitoring part. So it's just your advanced settings, like you need to install an extension, or if you need to install a VM application, then you can choose here. So it will be auto installed to the VM when VM being created. So when the VM being created, so already will have the extensions installed and will have the applications installed in the VM already. You don't need to install after the login. So here, if you have a tag, if you want to tag your VM, then you can use this. So now we go for review and create. Most of the options whatever we chose is all the default one. So here you can see the pricing. So if you're okay with the pricing, then we can go here. Now this is our learn account, so we no need to pay. Actually, it's just a exercise part. In your when you're creating your test account, like you can create just Outlook or Hotmail account, then you can create a VM, create a Azure account, then you can do all these exercises in it. Then you will also, when you're creating for the first time, you have a credit for I think it's 200 USD for per month some. So you can use that credit for your practicing. So just once after you create your account, you make sure you after create your resources, make sure you shut down it or you delete them, so that you're not being charged when you're not using it. So by that you can you can utilize the free credits what you get from Microsoft. Then you can have a lot of practicing. So you can see the status already here. So the VM IP, the VM is all under creation. IP is already created. So this is a Microsoft network is being under creation, network interfaces. Then here this is our virtual machine is under creation as well, created. So we also can see the notification here. Deployment is under process. So we go back to virtual machine, then we can see here VM1 is running, VM2 is under creating status. So it will be created. So this also is going to have the public IP, operating systems here, the size, and this is the thing. So this is how we can create a VM using Azure Portal, and also using the CLI, that's a Azure Cloud Shell. So in the next video, it will be a continuation of the Azure Cloud Shell exercise. So how we can troubleshoot and how we can connect to the web server what we have created.